Gunfreak Nation, I'm sure you're just as concerned as I am about the upcoming, election. I've been getting reports that, the government is, prepping for possible, election violence, Um, but I feel like you can't really trust the government. You should take that in your own hands and be prepared for potential election violence. Now, the way I look at it, I just feel like, my personal opinion, I think we got people on both sides that can potentially, set off something, especially if, the election get rigged again. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I see it both ways. If Trump get in, if he ran, it's gonna be violence, especially if he ran, because look at the Democratic track record. All you got to do is just go as far back as 2020 when we had all those the George Floyd riots, the takeover of in I believe it was in Portland, where they made it an autonomous zone called Chaz, where they took over a complete neighborhood, that it was a no police zone. So uh it's just a track record of just, if they don't get their way, they don't have a problem taking it to the streets and just the unrest, civil unrest, and if she gets it, it still can potentially be uh political violence. So I would like to know, Gun Freak Nation, what do y'all have? What do you have? Like, what do you have planned? What contingency plans do you have? Because never ever in my lifetime have I seen it so bad out here. Like, it's the country is divided, man. It's divided. You got the pro Trump, pro Kamala, and you can cut the tension with a knife. You can cut the tension with a knife. So I just want to know, man. It is. I can just smell it in the air. I can feel it. I can almost taste it. That they don't set the bar so high with all this rhetoric. Think about it, man. When have you ever seen in your lifetime, like, they tried to take Trump out 3 times, you know? So I just feel like, with all of the violence and the talk of him, they're comparing this guy to Hitler, man. Shame on you, CNN, for willing to air that, and you got all these people coming out that used to work for him, that's saying he's unfit, but those are people that got grievances with that man because they mad because they got fired. So like I said, the Democrat, man, they play dirty. Each side can do it, but it's like it's just something diabolical when it comes to them Democrats, man. Everything they stand for. So for that reason alone, man, I just feel like everybody needs to be prepared, man. If the police lose control, listen to me now. If the police lose control, that only can mean one thing: martial law. Because once the police lose control, it's going to be, chaos and disorder. No, I'm hearing already that people was, I'm just hearing through the grapevine that that people already got stuff planned, man. If he ran, they're gonna riot. It's gonna be the opposite. They're gonna say that it was rigged. You know what I'm saying? If Trump get it, then let's just be honest. If Trump lose, we're gonna have the people saying it was rigged. I do believe that the last election was rigged, man. I know what it's like in Detroit. I know how corrupt the mayor and all of the leaders that's in, the Democratic leaders here in the city of Detroit. Think about this. If say if Trump get it in Detroit, if he ran by 50 or maybe 100, maybe even 500 votes, and it's Democrats up over and they got control over, you think they're gonna throw that in the trash? They're not to be trusted. Anywhere it go, we, Gunfreak Nation, we gotta be ready. We must be prepared. I feel like you should already be, armed up to the teeth. I feel like you should already be stocked up on your ammo. I feel like you need to be, have your food supply stocked up well, your water, your medicine, because it just may be a situation where you cannot get out to get to the grocery stores because there's so much violence going on. And if things get that bad, it will not be any grocery stores because they're going to be looted already. That's the type of chaos and disorder that I'm talking about. So with that comes the National Guard, martial law, and you don't want to be living under those circumstances, man. You don't want to be. It's going to be when and if it happens, and I pray that it don't happen, that it never happens. But if it does, it's going to be a lot of people in a horrible situation because a lot of people are blind and they not really taking it serious. Leave it up to them. Leave it up to them. We're the fear mongers. We stoking the flames of hate. And that's the furthest from the truth. We just want to make sure everybody is good, man. It's nothing wrong with telling people to, stock up and arm up and ultimately arm up, man, because if you stocked up and you don't have any weapons, you just basically stockpiling your food and your medicine and your water for somebody else to come along and take it. So you got to have that mindset, man. When times get that rough, you got to have the mindset that only the strong will survive. Only the strong is going to survive. Because when it do happen, I do believe it. The way the climate of the country, just the environment that we're in, it's violent. Very violent. And you need to take it serious and just get ready. You need to stock up. Straight up. Stock up. Get your guns. Because I feel like we headed towards some violence, man. I just feel it in my bones. I hope it's not true. But what if it do happen? I want to know, Gunfreak Nation, are you ready, man? I don't want to see nothing bad happen to y'all or anybody else that's innocent, man. But we got people that really, really, really is just, if they don't get their way, they don't have a problem taking it to the streets and burning down buildings. I mean, look what happened back in 2020 in Minneapolis when Tim, that's now, Kamala's running mate, the VP running mate, he sat back and watched those rioters burn down a police station. Yeah, they burned down a police station, y'all. Then they, that's not to mention the businesses that got destroyed. There was no protest. That was a full-fledged riot. And I remember Trump offering to send in the National Guard, to activate the National Guard. And Tim told them to stand down. He let it go down. So when you got people like that got the mindset of, they want to accomplish their needs, the means through violence, then they not to be trusted. Kamala was the same person that was, bailing out the rioters, man. So make it make sense. She was the one that was pushing, I'm not gonna say she was pushing it, but she was with that defund the police movement, man. So if you got people like that got that mindset, let's defund the police, that's the only thing that's keeping this country, law and order. What would this country be without the police? I'm not, every organization, corporation got, job or whatever you want to call it, got bad apples in the mix. But that don't mean that you throw out the whole barrel because you got one or two bad apples in it. But they talking about defund the police. So I just feel like that's what they want. That's what they thrive off of. The country being unstable. She's a Marxist, man. Let's just keep it for what it, I'm going to keep it all the way real with you. She is a Marxist. And if she get in, she's already in the White House, basically. Who you think, Sleepy Joe don't have, he clearly he's not running the country. And I feel like the deep state, whatever you want to call it, the radical left, they just merely the puppet masters, man. She's going to be told what policies to do, man. And the last 3.5 years, 4 years, the country has been just in a steady decline, man. I've never, ever seen it this bad before in this country. And she gets up on these stages and pretends like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, do this, that. But you've been in, office the last 3.5 years. So if this country means so much to you, why haven't you co-signed or pull up Biden aside and be like, hey, you need to do it like this? I know he's the sitting president, but you got say so too. And you was the one that was in Congress, in Capitol Hill, in Congress at the Capitol, signing off on them, tie-breaking bills. You broke the tie. So it's the same old, song and dance, man. She gonna get, if she do win, it's gonna be the same old, same old. It's just that simple, man. And I feel like whether Trump get it or whether she, take control, it's not gonna be a peaceful transition. It's not gonna be peaceful, man. So I need every single one of you to keep your head on the swivel and just be ready, man, because I'm telling you, man, we got a potential war that's about to break out in the Middle East right now. Everybody is waiting on Israel to get their payback, to retaliate against Iran. Who's to say that Iran don't already have cells over here, terrorist cells already over here in the United States, ready to be activated? Because you already know whose side we on. We already sending, missile systems over there to Israel. So who's to say that Iran ain't sent, terrorist cells over here in this country. That's what happens when you leave a border wide open for the last 3.5 years. All of them ain't, you know what I'm saying? People coming over here to have a better life. Some of them people that's over here hate this country, man. So we facing some uncertain and most definitely perilous times. So y'all really need to be on the up and up and just be ready, man, for when it go down, man. I mean, can you imagine if you don't have any a firearm to protect your family, you don't have food supplies stocked up or medical or water, you're going to be in a horrible like predicament where you at the mercy of begging somebody else. Yeah, basically begging someone else to come to your rescue. And that's going to be hard to find, you know? Because once when the grocery stores close, and like, I'm going to tell you something. We already got the ports closed because they striking, right? So if the truckers, you know what, keep America going, God bless them. The truck drivers, the trains, and the planes. But once when those 3 supply lines get interrupted, it ain't gonna be no shipments of food to, you know, to be supplied to the grocery stores and to the warehouses. I'm telling you, when it hit the fan, more than likely, man, the first places that's gonna get hit is the grocery stores. Everybody gonna go up in the Walmarts, the Meijer. They're gonna loot them for the food and whatever else. Then it's not gonna be any police to enforce anything. They're gonna be at home. The officers are gonna be at home protecting their own families. They're not gonna be protecting you. They're gonna be at home protecting their own families. So for those who just, man, you just fear-mongering, you know what you're talking about, man, I hope that's the case, that don't nothing happen. But I can just sense it, man. And I mean, if you just open your eyes and see what's really going on, man, and how just the propaganda that's just being put out there, and just these Democrats, man, they got an agenda. They got an agenda. And I feel like if they lose, I feel like they're going to create so much chaos that, man, it just may well be martial law. It may be, you know, you may look outside your window and see tanks rolling down your street. You know? It's not to be trusted, man. You know, sometimes I think, like, what if a civil war break out, man? You know, it can get pretty crazy and pretty fast, man. You know, it's the hype is real. You feel me? I'm not here to tell anybody who to vote for. You know, that is strictly 1,000% your choice. But what I'm telling you is that people is getting emotionally involved in this election, man. And I feel like something is definitely about to jump off, and you need to be ready for any circumstances, man. You need to be ready at all times. And I'm not talking about just your regular everyday savage breaking up in your house. I'm talking about the collapse of society. I'm talking about civil unrest. where you're going to have to fend for yourself. And I'm telling you, the weak will perish. They not going to survive. So Gun Freak Nation, you know, let's get it together. You know, figure it out. I'm ready. I'm savage ready. Been savage ready for years now. But are you ready? That's what I want to know. Because I pray to God that you are. Because we living in some demonic times right now, man. And I don't put nothing past these Democrats, man. They believe in violence. They believe they thrive in an unstable, violent environment. That's how they thrive, man. You know. So y'all get ready, man. You ain't seen nothing yet. You know, and I wish y'all the best. You feel me? Gunfree Nation, listen, stay armed, stay responsible with your firearms, stay righteous, and be ready to send that demon savage to Funky Town. Man, I love y'all, Gunfree Nation. Salute.